Now, we all know tension between the United States and China have been a little bit crazy right now. We learned that they're, cycling these balloons all over our country, spying on us and everything like that. But even before that, tensions were pretty terrible. They've got TikTok over here feeding our children all these senseless and useless dances, pretty much ruining the brains of our youth, while their form of TikTok, pretty much has things for, learning and, everything that can make their kids better, citizens. If you guys didn't know, China actually owns TikTok, so they get to control what we see, and that's why TikTok is so ugly. They're killing our attention spans, but, anyways, yeah, there's been a lot of tension going on between the United States, and it seemed that U.S. officials actually chose to talk about this at the conference in Munich. And so it's pretty interesting. I want to see kind of what they had to talk about. Are they more concerned about, security, like with these balloons? Are they more concerned about maybe economics? I just want to know kind of what they got into. And I thought this could be pretty interesting for you guys, too, to kind of see where the U.S.'s stance is about how they feel about China, and also what they wanted to present that to the other, countries, what they want to present out to the people about how they feel. So, guys, definitely like, comment, subscribe. It's the greatest YouTube commentary channel on YouTube. I appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing me. You guys have been helping me grow a lot, so I appreciate that. But I don't want to hold you guys up, so let's go ahead and see what the United States has to say about China. Okay, so it says U.S. officials mounting tensions between U.S. and China during Munich security conference. Now it says, all right. And you can see this is the U.S. Secretary of State right here. Now it says U.S. officials address mounting tensions with China Sunday after the Secretary of State, him right there, Anthony Blinken, met with China's top diplomat, Wang Yi, to discuss China's high-altitude surveillance balloon and the nation's stance on sending lethal aid to Russia. So basically, these seem to be the two topics. Two topics that I think it's good to address them about. One, why are you guys floating spy balloons over our country? And two, why are you guys giving guns to Russia? As we all know, though, Russia and China are allies, so we do know why they're doing it. But it's still pretty ugly. Now it says the U.S. military shot down a high-altitude Chinese balloon on February 4th, and Blinken told Wang that it was an unacceptable violation of U.S. sovereignty and international law, a State Department spokesperson said in a statement Saturday. Blinken also warned of the implications and consequences if China provides material support to Russia, according to the statement. So they really coming in guns blazing right now. They saying, hey, there will be consequences if you're sending these materials over to Russia. That's why a lot of people, I feel like, are saying that World War III is going to be going on, because the U.S. feels like they can't back down. They can't have China just feeding into, Russia and everything like that. But all these countries have allies, so if they feel some type of way, then they'll have to fight, I don't feel like Russia's really strong enough to handle any fights or anything right now. The Ukrainian war has been a lot more difficult for them than I think they had perceived that it was going to be. And even though Russia will probably end up winning this, if they do, they're going to end up wasting and burning through so much supplies. I'm sure their economy will be pretty much shot by the time that happens. So, I'm pretty sure they all regret starting this Ukrainian war at this point in time. But yeah, the U.S. is basically just saying here, hey, so the balloon was one thing. If you guys are sending problems to or materials to Russia, like, it's going to be a problem. They're saying it's going to be on and popping. You know what I'm saying? Now they said the officials met on the margins of the Munich Security Conference, where leaders around the world gathered together to discuss geopolitical changes. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. Now he said Sunday that there was no doubt the high-altitude balloon was attempting to engage in active surveillance. So he's saying, hey, guys, I know you guys said that the balloons weren't yours. all of this, I'm not going for it. You can say whatever you want to. We did our research and we know this balloon is from China, and we know that it was there during surveillance trying to collect data basically on the inner workings of, Americans, the United States, possibly check out certain buildings, see where certain possibly military bases and things like that are getting that information. Now it says, what is clear is that once the balloon was over the United States and flying basically west to east, it attempted to surveil very sensitive military sites. Like I said, in some cases, it loitered and returned to them as it progressed east. So, like, pretty much in tracking the balloon, they already know, like, this thing was not out here trying to go to Chuck E. Cheese, you know what I'm saying? It was not trying to go to an American McDonald's and get a burger, you know what I'm saying? It was over here flying over military sites, which even makes it more ugly, because it's also like, guys, like, as a country, like, this balloon was flying over multiple military sites. It was able to make it all the way from the west to the east coast. It's just kind of embarrassing. And now that we know that there were actually multiple, if you guys didn't know, there were actually multiple balloons. There was 2 during Trump's presidency, and there was 1 during Biden's earlier. So, like, this is like our 4th balloon, and it's very embarrassing that, these balloons just be here. Our government, we already know they lied to us. They didn't tell us anything about it until, like, the news came out with that 1 balloon. So, obviously, they were hiding that, that these balloons are even here, even though they knew. Now, all right, it says, Blicken said he had a very direct, very clear conversation about the balloon with Wang, but that he did not receive a direct apology. Wang was like, nah, bro, it's cool. Wang was like, we're going to do what we want to do. Blicken said he thinks other countries appreciate the fact that the United States has exposed China's balloon program. Oh, yeah, that's probably true. But I feel like China is probably worried about the U.S. the most, so they're probably not even sending, like that many balloons. But I guess it says more than 40 countries have had these balloons go over their territories. There's a real concern that I'm hearing here from other countries. So I guess they just sending out balloons worldwide. They're like, you guys aren't catching them. When you do catch them, we just going to be like, nah. Wasn't me. Wasn't me, though. Wasn't me, Jesus, China really don't care. Like, China don't care. Like, they don't care if you catch them and everything like that. Like, I feel like the Chinese people are kind of just like, yeah, we're going to do what we want to do, and you can't stop us, especially if you're Americans. If we want to send stuff over to Russia, we're probably just going to do it. Like, it doesn't seem like they care. Like, no apology after multiple balloons had been found. Now, let's see. Republicans, Michael McCall, Republican Texas, and Michael Turner, Republican Ohio, were also at the Munich Security Conference, and they said that the Biden administration should be more open with the American public about what China's espionage plans are. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I think it's crazy that people haven't been more outraged that the Biden administration hasn't like Ben came out and told us that these balloons are flying over our country. Like, the point that we know there's 4 out, but they only wanted to say something after the 4th, pretty much means that they were hiding it from us, you know what I'm saying? Or they didn't want us to know, because they could have came out with the news and said, hey guys, we found a Chinese spy plane, we shot it down and everything like that, but they essentially tried to hide the last 4. So it's just not a good look, as far as like having some lucidity between the civilians and the president, when the civilians know that the president is hiding certain things from them, because clearly they are. You know what I'm saying? But he said despite the balloon, he thinks there's an opportunity for the 2 nations to return to normal dialogue. No one, of course, wants a Cold War, he told CNN's State of Union Sunday. What we want is a China that is not going to be an aggressor state. Yeah, I understand that. It says China's aggression is also a concern in Russia's war against Ukraine. Blicken said that the U.S. has information that suggests China is considering sending lethal support for Russia. As you guys know, lethal support means violent things like weapons, things like that. And we could definitely see that because China and Russia are allies. So I'm honestly surprised China hasn't been sending equipment earlier. And they probably have. Guys, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, because I'm sure they probably have. And the U.S. shouldn't be surprised that China is going to do that because they're allies. The same way that we've been funneling tons of stuff into Ukraine. I don't know why we feel that we can like send lethal weapons to Ukraine, but we can tell China not to send them to Russia. I mean, don't get me wrong, China as a world power is kind of like screwing up, you know. It's getting in, it's butting in the way of, you know, the other world powers. So that could be a reason, but it seems kind of weird to be allied with somebody in opposing side in the war, and you're feeding aid to your side, but you're asking other countries that are allied with them not to send aid to their sides. It seems very unfair. But hey, let me know what you guys think about that. Now, he said there are various kinds of lethal aid that China is considering providing, including weapons. Blinken said China has already been aiding Russia in more diplomatic ways, but that sending lethal aid would be a significant escalation. Yeah, okay, so they were helping out, but in more, like it says, in more diplomatic ways. Um, China don't be talking to anybody. I wonder how they were able to do that in more diplomatic ways. I would think that the only way would be straight up sending supplies, because they don't talk to the U.S., they don't talk to European countries, they talk to Russia, but like talking to Russia isn't going to help Russia win this war. Sending supplies will, though. Now, it says it's important for me to share very clearly with Wang Yi that this would be a serious problem. Senator Lindsey Graham, a Republican of South Carolina, also appeared at the Munich Security Conference, and he told ABC that if China does provide Russia with lethal aid, the world needs to come down hard on China. Graham's also aiding Russia materially might be the most catastrophic thing that could happen to U.S.-China relations. And he says to the China, if you decide to jump on the Putin train now, you're dumber than dirt. It would be like buying a ticket on the Titanic after you saw the movie. Don't do this. So the U.S. is really putting pressure on China. They're saying don't help out. I mean, I do kind of agree with them in a way. Like we said, like Russia's really spent a lot on this war. It didn't go how they thought it was going to go. They probably thought they were going to do a 4-0 clean sweep of Ukraine, you know, within, 6 months to a year or something. And it's just not working out like that. I'm sure they're spending a lot more money than they would like. Their economy is being negatively affected, from this and everything like that. So it would kind of be like China taking on a lot of risk for a war that's not going in their favor, you know what I'm saying? But then again, their ally Russia is like, hey, you're my ally, you're my friend, you're supposed to be here for me in times like this and everything like that. So the U.S. has came out with its threats and everything, and that could be real bad because let's say China sends in materials, the U.S. gets mad, tension gets worse, China attacks the U.S., U.S. attacks China or something like that. Somebody cuts off trade, somebody makes something mad. Now maybe a U.S. Ally feels like maybe they need to step in and do something, so they step in, they do something to China. Another ally of China comes in, maybe Russia then retaliates against that European power that was our ally. Like, this could get crazy and everything like that. I do think it's very good that Russia is severely weakened because that would make this even worse, and everything like that. And I feel like that would really make the whole World War III thing a lot more prevalent or possible. But I think after their straight butt kicking, I don't think they really trying to get into any more wars or disputes for a little bit. They got to get this Ukraine situation handled and everything. But let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you guys think about the balloons. Let me know what you guys think about them possibly sending materials to Russia. Do you guys think that we're putting enough pressure on China and kind of like keeping them in their lane? Or you guys think we're not putting enough pressure on them and they probably just sitting back doing whatever they want to do? Because clearly it seems like they don't really care about these balloons. It kind of seems like they might be sending out some more balloons to America, like, you know what I'm saying, this week, and if they get caught, they're just gonna be like, yeah, so what? He's gonna be like, and but yeah, you guys have a great day. Like, comment, subscribe, and everything like that to help the channel grow. I really appreciate it, and you guys have a great and blessed day.